what I'd like to do today is basically go into the mindfulness practice, and we'll do the sections. If you've done this before, you're used to this, the grounding practice, and then what's called close placement, or holding your mind close by awareness of internal sensations in the body, particularly anchored with the breathing. Excuse me. And then environmental awareness. And then I'd like to talk a little bit about using a practice called, in the Tibetan, the word is Tonglen. The two syllables mean sending and taking. And it's a practice of compassion for oneself and others. So given our challenging times, I thought it would be useful to do a little bit of that practice. And you're welcome to participate or observe, whichever you prefer. So let's get going. We want to start by taking a comfortable but upright posture, similar to when you were in school and they said sit up and pay attention, because what we're doing is paying attention. Mindfulness is simply paying attention to what we're experiencing and doing in the present moment, and our minds and our bodies and our interactions. So we start with taking a good posture, because we're going to be working with our breathing. And breathing is interesting. If your posture is tilted over like this, you tend to get sleepy. If your chin's up like this, you tend to get spaced out. So we want to have our back kind of straight, our front soft, but our back kind of straight, and so that the breath can go in our nostrils and all the way down without having too challenging a path to take. We want to breathe in primarily through our nostrils, if you can, and then breathing out also through the nostrils, but it's okay if slightly through your mouth as well. We use the breathing for a couple of reasons. One, it happens by itself, so you don't have to make it happen. It also is a reflection of our state of mind. When we're uptight, our breathing is very shallow. When we're relaxed, it's deeper and slower. So it's a reflection of our state of mind. And it's partly under our control. I can say, take a deep breath, and you will. Or breathe quickly, and you can do that. Ironically, if you say, just breathe naturally, sometimes that makes us self-conscious and we can't breathe naturally. But it's not totally under our control, because if I say, hold your breath for 10 minutes, it's not something that you can do. So it's a little bit like life. Partly under our control, but not completely. And it's our connection with our environment. We're breathing in something that isn't us. We're breathing out something that is us that becomes not us. So breathing in something that's not us that becomes us. Breathing out part of me becomes not me. And you can't really pinpoint that place where it stops being not you and starts being you. Now, when we start, we're going to have our eyes closed. But later in the session, we'll open them, because mindfulness is a 24/7 proposition. We want to be mindful in everything that we do, and we can't really walk around with our eyes closed. So the grounding practice we'll do with our eyes closed. Take your good posture. You want to have your back straight but not rigid. If you feel like the back of your head goes up, your cowlick goes up, your chin will come down naturally. You want to feel like your spine, and you can let your eyes gently close as I guide you through your posture. You want to feel like your spine is a tent pole and everything else is hanging from that tent pole, like canvas hanging from the tent before you stretch it out. Let your shoulders just hang. Let your arms hang straight down from your shoulders. Let them hang down to your sides, and then leaving your elbows where they are, swivel your hands up so that they're palm down on your thighs, just behind your knees. The alternative is you can have them one on top of the other, palm up at your waist, just below your navel, kind of resting in your lap. You want your seat on the cushion, not leaning back against the back of your chair, but if you need to, you can slide your rear end just up against the back of the chair as a little extra support if you need to. If you have long legs and your knees are up above your hips, it might be better to cross your legs gently in front of you. Less strain on your legs and lower back. Kneeling is also an acceptable posture. And we're doing this sitting up, but if you have physical difficulties, it's okay to lie down. The problem is when we do this lying down, we tend to fall asleep, but everyone's muted, so we won't hear you snore, so don't worry about that. We sit down to keep ourselves in neutral because if we're standing up, we tend to get antsy and want to do something. And here we're going to practice simply being with our experience without needing it to be something in particular. We're going to be observers of our experience rather than directors of our experience. And let's just sweep out any unnecessary tension. You can check from the top of your head all the way down. Forehead, ears, cheekbones, eyes, jaw. Sometimes we have a lot of tension in our jaw, and you can just let it wiggle slightly. If you still feel tension, we can do the intensify and release practice where you clench your jaw for a couple of seconds and then let it go. And it's fine if your lips part and they're parted slightly. Just let your jaw soften. Same thing with your neck and your shoulders. Sometimes we're not even aware that our shoulders are up around our ears. Just, you can try this. Lift your shoulders, hold them for a couple of seconds, and then drop them. Just let them drop. Don't force them down. Just let them drop naturally. You feel them getting softer. Upper arms, collarbone and shoulder blades, chest and upper back. Rib cage all around, solar plexus, stomach, deep belly and lower back. Sometimes we hold tension there in our lower torso. Again, if you feel like there's tension in your belly, just clench it, tighten those abs, and then just let them release. Hips, buttocks, pelvis, thighs, forearms, hands. Knees, calves, ankles, and feet. Let everything soften. You can even take one nice full breath and just feel like as you breathe out, all the tension sweeps out. As much as it will, any tension that you don't need to hold your posture. Let your mind drift deeper into your body. We often feel like our minds are up there behind our foreheads. Let your mind fall back and down the back of your throat, the back of your chest, behind your heart, behind your solar plexus, like a leaf settling gently to the bottom of the pond. And let your mind settle there deep in the core of your torso, a few inches below your navel, just in front of your spine. It's quiet down there, like the bottom of a still pond. But as you breathe in and out, you can feel some slight movement down there, like subtle currents at the bottom of that pond. And let your weight really sink into the chair or the cushion you're sitting on. Imagine yourself sinking even further, sinking down and merging with the earth, so that your lower body is part of the earth. That's as grounded as you can be. But your upper body extends upward, majestically like a mountain. Let your breath come and go as it will, like the wind. Be an observer rather than a director. And we've relaxed our body, so let's relax our mind. Just let it be open in all directions, open to internal and external experiences. Whatever is going to appear in your mind, be open to that. Like whatever clouds appear in the sky. Body like a mountain, breath like the wind, mind like the sky. And understand that that open mind, just like the sky, isn't affected by the clouds. Clouds come and go, but the space in which they appear, the sky in which they appear, remains constant. That's the nature of our minds. Whatever appears in our minds are the contents of the mind, not the nature of the mind. The mind is a formless, shapeless, sizeless, colorless container of those appearances. Be aware of your body, how it moves as the breath goes in and out. Let your mind rest there deep in the core of your torso. And gently open your eyes part way so that as if you're looking downward out of your eyelids on a diagonal. Resting your eyes in front of you, but not focused tightly on a particular spot. Just aware of the space that you're sitting in. Seeing your body in the lower part of your field of vision. Seeing just a bit of space around you in the room. But attune your awareness primarily to the internal sensation. What it feels like as you fill with air as the breath comes in. What it feels like as the air empties out as the breath goes out. You can feel the movement in your lower torso, which is the diaphragm, expanding to bring the air in, pressing down to bring the air in, pressing up, push the air out. It does that naturally without you having to direct it. Just observe those inner feelings. The feeling of filling as the air comes in, emptying as the breath goes out. Awareness of your posture, the sensation of filling, sensation of empty. Let your mind gently rest on those experiences without needing them to be a particular way. Thoughts might come and go in your mind. You might hear sounds around you. Just let them come and go as your primary focus is on the physical sensation of posture, filling, and empty. Now, if your mind does wander off into a series of thoughts, if the thoughts capture your mind and take your mind away into a series of thoughts as if a daydream, when you realize it, that's a moment of waking up from that daydream. So smile, feel good about waking up from the daydream rather than upset that your mind wandered, because mind does wander. Just smile, make that little mental note, that was wandering. Now I am back, attuned to the breath in the here and now. You don't have to think all of those thoughts, just have that general sense of, I was someplace else, now I'm back. You may find if your mind wandered, that as you got into your daydream, your posture started to degrade and you tilted downward or your chin floated upward. So when you smile and wake up out of that daydream and smile, also reconnect with your posture. And then feel the breath filling and emptying. Now to sharpen your focus a bit, notice a little more detail about the breath. What it feels like as you're starting to fill, filling, and full. Starting to empty, emptying, and empty. Those 6 sensations with awareness of your posture. Starting to fill, filling, and full. Starting to empty, emptying, and empty. We'll do that for a few breaths. And another technique you can use to sharpen your focus is to count the breaths. So we'll conclude this part of the practice by counting downward from 7. And it's helpful to go in and out, 6 left, in and out, 5 left, and so on, until you have none left. So you can begin now. Good. Okay. Thank you. You can relax. I'm going to see if I can unmute everyone here. Let's see. No, I can only allow all of you to unmute yourself. So there you go. So if you have a question, just unmute yourself, or comment, just unmute yourself, and we can have a little discussion. I guess everybody's mind got very quiet. That's nice. It's not allowing us to do it, writes Jenny. Okay, so there we go. How's that? I think we're all clear now. Is that better, Jenny? Well, let me see. How about now?
Yes, that's better. Thank you. Just kept coming up with a message.
Did you have a question?
No, I didn't, but that was lovely. I've had a long day on the beach today with my grandchildren, and I felt my head going down, down, down. So I'm sorry about that.
No problem. Well,
Oh,
you know, Jenny's in the UK for everyone else. It's still morning here.
yes.
Seraphin says she can't unmute. I thought I was able to do that for everybody.
No, I'm good, thank you.
Oh,
He can't unmute. Good. All right, well, you see, I'm still learning how to do all this. In any case,
I just have a little question.
yes.
So I've been playing 18 holes this afternoon. Was great. Didn't play that well, but before playing, I had to kind of visualize all my shots. It didn't work out as expected, but so my question will be, how do you train focus in between shot? I mean, because now I'm replaying the go holes and I can see myself, you know, thinking too many things, even outside of golf.
I understand. Now, this session is a general mindfulness session rather than our golf. Which we're not doing one of those this week. But basically, the idea is that you have thoughts, and this applies for everything that we're doing when we lose focus. And that is understanding that we have thoughts, but we are not our thoughts. So you can make a relationship with them, and that is what this mindfulness practice is for. That as you practice, you begin to see and recognize thoughts that appear rather than, and then you have a choice of how to respond to them rather than they get their hooks in you right away and just take you away into a distraction or a daydream. So it's really a matter of practice. And you see, mindfulness has, in the tradition, the way that it's taught, there's actually mindfulness and awareness. So the mindfulness component is the aspect of our consciousness that pays attention. It's what we are focused on. The awareness part is like a monitor, a monitoring function. That is a background awareness, acknowledgement of whether we are paying attention or not, and what we are paying attention to. So when you're caught in a daydream, the it overrides that awareness monitoring function, and as in the same way that you're in a dream at night and don't know it, you're in a daydream and don't know it. So the practice of mindfulness is this generating of staying attuned to the bigger scope, the awareness function, and keeping that active so that you know what it is that you're paying attention to and can choose to move your mind in that direction. And that's really the training, whether it's golf or anything in your life, being able to say, okay, where is my mind now? And always coming back to that. Where am I? You know, there are sayings in the Eastern wisdom traditions. One is, who am I? Always asking again, who am I? Who am I? And sometimes we do it in a humorous way, saying, if someone is being very full of themselves, we often say, who does he think he is? And if we're more direct, we say, who do you think you are? But what if we turn that around and ask ourselves, who do I think I am?
Mhm.
That's a great practice for waking up. And where am I? Where is my mind is another great practice for waking up. am I here or am I someplace else? Sometime I'll tell you, there's a, I'll mention it now. If you want to look it up, I'm gonna type it in here. It's Abbott and Costello, an old comedy team.
Yeah.
And they have a routine called "You're Not Here," and you can find it on YouTube. It's pretty fun. So let's go on. Excuse me. And we'll do our environmental awareness practice and then the kindness, compassion practice. Okay, so take your good posture again. Oh, and by the way, for Jenny, if you and anybody else who's tending to fall asleep, it's helpful just to open your eyes a little wider and look a little higher. So when we do our environmental awareness practice, we're doing that anyway. You still keep your chin down, but your gaze goes up, looking out straight ahead. And soften your vision. Open up your peripheral vision as far as it goes, in all directions, so that you're looking straight ahead, but you're not focused tightly on the spot. And be aware of the colors, shapes, and shades of light and dark that are present in your full field of vision. Colors, shapes, and shades of light and dark. And switch to sound. You hear my voice coming out of your device. Open up your hearing in all directions and listen for sounds. Loud and soft, high and low, sharp and dull. If your mind gets taken away into a lot of commentary on any one of the sounds, just smile and go, oh, commentary, back to just noticing. Tune into your bodily sensations. Leave your eyes open, but be aware of your sit bones pressing into the seat, feet on the floor, hands in your lap, how your head balances on your neck and shoulders. Body moving as the breath goes in and out. Subtler sensations like the clothes on your skin and the air on the skin of your hands and face. See if you can tune into awareness. See if you can tune into awareness of internal sensations. The cool, dry air coming in through your nostrils, warm and moist going out. How your heart is beating in your chest. You might feel the pulse in your neck, fingertips, or wrists. Relax your mind and notice thoughts appearing and disappearing, like clouds forming and disappearing in the sky. Now for the next few minutes, maybe 2 minutes will do. Just relax, eyes wide open, and let your awareness move from sense perception to sense perception. Whatever appears in your mind, rest on that sense perception for a few moments, for as long as it lasts. And if another perception takes you away, move to that one. So that you allow your mind to wander, but it wanders in the present, in the here and now, from perception to perception. Sights, sounds, bodily sensations, perhaps smells as well. Now we'll move into the compassion practice. You can do this either with your eyes open or closed. But to begin with, we do it for ourselves, because first we have to make friends with ourselves before we can truly befriend others. So imagine in your heart center, that's the center of your chest at heart level, a beautiful clear crystal made of light. Any shape that you choose. And this crystal has transformative properties, but anything negative that it absorbs gets transformed into positive energy that it radiates. So we're going to use our breathing as the signal, so that as you breathe in, feel that the crystal absorbs from everywhere in your being, your body and your mind, any negativity, any unhappiness, frustration, guilt, anger, blame, negative emotions that you wish you didn't have, any kind of negativity. As you breathe in, it's gathered into the crystal. It transforms, and as you breathe out, the crystal radiates the cool moonlight of kindness that fills your being with peace and happiness. Breathe in and gather all the negativity into your crystal in your heart. As you breathe out, it radiates the cool moonlight of kindness that fills your being with peace and happiness. And feeling that process, feeling that you can transform that negativity and imbue yourself, fill yourself pervaded by peace and happiness. The natural inclination is to wish that for others. So again, either with your eyes closed or you can open your eyes, imagine all your loved ones surrounding you. They also have negative feelings toward themselves, towards others, unhappiness and struggle. And you want them to be free of that. So as you breathe in, the crystal in your heart gathers in all of their negativity, struggle, and unhappiness. It transforms and it radiates out the cool moonlight of kindness, filling all of your loved ones with peace and happiness. Isn't that nice? You've gathered in from all of them and taken from all of them the negativity and unhappiness and struggle. And as you breathe out, the crystal radiates out cool moonlight of kindness that fills them with peace and happiness. If one particular person that is suffering a lot comes to mind, you can focus on them for a couple of breaths. Really feel like you're taking all of their unhappiness and struggle and suffering into that crystal in your heart that transforms that into positive energy that radiates out and fills them with relief from their struggle, relief from their unhappiness, and fills them with peace and joy. And as best you can, expand that to people all over the world, even ones you have difficulty with. The main difficulty comes from their unhappiness. It's a bit paradoxical. To help them be better, don't wish ill on them. Wish that they're relieved of the unhappiness that makes them do the negative things they do. Take away all that unhappiness and hatred, anger. Breathe it into the crystal in your heart and it magically transforms. And you get to radiate out to everyone in the world relief from that struggle, contentment, peace, happiness. So there isn't a need to act in such a negative way. And as best you can, include all creatures, large and small. Every living being has suffering and wishes it were happy. Take away that suffering and radiate happiness everywhere in the world. And now you can let go of the visualization. Take a few ordinary breaths just to clear your mind. Simply be present with your body in the here and now. And generate the wish. May I and all beings have happiness. May I and all beings be free from suffering. And may the practice we've done be of benefit to others as well as myself. That's it. So, thank you. I'm going to see if we can unmute everyone. And if you have any comments, let's do that. Now I clicked on allow participants to unmute themselves, so you should be able to do that.
That crystal one is so lovely, isn't it? Very nice.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. I actually came up with that because traditionally one just breathes in and takes the negativity into one's heart center. But people who have not experienced the impermanence of their own existence often get stuck and feel like, oh, I get loaded with all this negativity. I'm full of all this terrible stuff. But in fact, there isn't really any place in there for it to land. But the crystal makes it clear that it's made of light.
Yeah.
And it's transformative. And as you practice more, you realize that this crystalline, pure, insubstantial quality is the nature of your own mind. And heart and mind are the same thing.
So the crystal is in your heart.
In your heart center.
Heart center, yeah. Yeah, it's lovely. I love that.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Dr. Joe, this is Fred, and my only question is, how often, where, and how long do you generally meditate?
Okay. Well, most of my practice I do. I'm so glad you asked that because I forgot. I wanted to share something. I do most of my practice in the morning, but I'm introducing something called stop, drop, and breathe. Use signals that we get all through the day the way they use the bell in a Zen monastery. The temple bell is rung at random times, and at those times, everybody who hears the bell stops what they're doing and takes 3 breaths before they engage in their next and continue on in their task. So just like if your clothes are on fire, the instruction is to stop, drop, and breathe. Well, I mean, stop, drop, and roll. Sorry, stop, drop, and roll. When your mind is on fire, when you hear the bell of your text going off, use that as your signal. Just stop. Don't reach for the phone. Change your response. Don't be so reactive to the phone, to your computer, to the alarm, to the microwave, whatever it is. Stop. Drop your thoughts, drop your activity for a moment and breathe. At least 1 breath. So you can practice it all through the day. The tradition, Fred, the tradition says many short sessions are actually preferable to one really long one. Now, that doesn't mean you don't do a long meditation session, but even in one long meditation session, you break it up and kind of start fresh. In the same way, when we play golf, it's 18 separate events, and we get a fresh start at each one. It's good to take a break, fresh start. But all through the day, as often as you can, especially if you can train your mind to react to stressful situations, not with more speed and more stress, but to take a time out. Stop, drop what you're doing, breathe, and take a fresh start. So
I've been using that on the golf course, actually.
Good for you.
It's very useful.
Thank you.
Craig, did you have your hand up?
Yes, sir. I enjoyed this very much. I was wondering how often these Zoom sessions will take place.
Every other Friday at the same time at this point. That's the plan.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And once in a while, if you sign up for the email list, we'll send out an email. when I'm going to do a golf-oriented one.
Good.
And Seraphine, if you have that golf question you want to talk a little more about it, email me at info@zengolf.com and we'll set something up.
Thank you.
info@zengolf.com. Okay? I'll type that in so you're sure you get it. Great. Well, wonderful. It's so wonderful. And thank all of you for the opportunity for me to do an extra session of practice, because it benefits me as well. So thank you all for the opportunity to do this. Stay healthy and stay safe out there.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Joe.